All right, it's November, and that means we've got a new battle box to check out. And this is actually a pretty dense one too. So if you're into being outside, survival stuff, camping stuff, or that sort of thing, you may love the subscription. So let's pop the seal on this thing and see what we got this month. What's up guys, Eric here with ATHOME in the future, and I'm back with another Battlbox unboxing. So if somehow you're not familiar with Battlbox, this is like the OG outdoors and adventure subscription. Really cool stuff. Comes in 4 different flavors. Starts all the way at the bottom with the basic box, which still has some really cool stuff, and goes all the way up to a Pro Plus subscription, which normally has some sort of blade, some sort of knife of the month type thing. So no matter where you're at or what you want to spend, there's always a level of Battlbox for you. This is one of my favorite subscriptions, always has really interesting stuff. So this is the November 2022 box. Let's pop these seals and see. Like I mentioned earlier, this thing is dense this month. It feels like it is packed full, not a square inch of space spared inside of this. So let's see. We'll open her up and we'll kind of pull everything out. Ooh, a golden ticket. That's cool. So here's our card. This goes through everything that's in the box, and we'll kind of, you know, let's just move this thing over and then we'll go through our guide here. So mission brief for mission 93, November 2022. It gives an overview of all this stuff. Look at this. Oh, this is gonna be a cool box this month. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, we got basic box over here on the left. That's the least expensive option. Then it jumps up to advanced, where you get to pack on a little bit more money and get some more stuff. The Pro box, really interesting items. And then Pro Plus. All right, this is gonna be an awesome one. So before we get going, we have this golden ticket. We scratch off for a chance to win big with a code. It says, don't share that code. So maybe I'll have to do it off camera. I'll just scratch it off and tell you what I got. How about we do that? But let's go through the basic box first. Looks like our item number 1 is Axe Wax. Let's see if we can dig it out over here. All right, here we go. And this looks like it's made in the USA. It's always cool when you see this badge on here. So this is Axe Wax, worth $22 even. It's 100% all natural, food safe, and it's a wood finish. So it's a handmade paste for knife and axe handles. Looks like it has a lot of different uses too. It can be used as a cutting board treatment or waterproofing and conditioning leather. So if you got stuff that you want to use outside, blades, wood, anything like that, this stuff looks like it's made in Oregon. Looks like the stuff for you. Oh yeah, just a really kind of a light touch wax that you can, it looks like you can get a cloth and kind of rub it into stuff and season it a little bit. Really cool. If you're into kind of bushcrafting style gear where you have wooden handles or a big like cool old school axe, this looks like just the stuff for you. So pretty cool. I like that. It's made in the USA, made of some all natural stuff. I think it's kind of crazy that you can use this on both wood and leather and also metal too. I guess just that blend of stuff kind of gets in there in those little microscopic pores and just keep stuff seasoned and looking nice and feeling good and cool. So if you're into outdoorsy type stuff and keeping your stuff nice and clean and in tip-top shape, Axe Wax looks like it'll fit the bill. So not a bad item to start out with. Next up is something, this is from a brand I'm actually super familiar with, and I really dig these guys. My Medic. They make awesome kits. If you've ever watched my truck EDC video, we have a giant kit from My Medic. I mean, when I say giant, it's like this big, but it's made to be like a personal first aid kit that has a lot of trauma dressings and stuff in it. But they branched out over the years, even since I made that video, and make all sorts of little packs and kits. So this one is all about hiking. The Hiker Medic Med Pack, worth $28 or so, has a lot of cool stuff in it. Let's pop this thing open and see what we got. Look how awesome this little kit is. So again, not too huge at all, something pretty light too that you could throw in a pack. But I mean, it is stuffed full of stuff. So we've got sunscreen, lip balm, berm gel, alcohol wipes, bandages of every kind, antibiotic ointment, super skin. Oh, that's cool. That's like their moleskin stuff to keeps you from getting blisters, which is obviously a good idea if you're going hiking. A whistle even, sting relief, all this stuff. Let's see if we can just dump this out, and I'll show you all the stuff they tend to jam in these things. See how like totally packed full it is? I'm going to regret having to repack this back up later. But look at this, awesome big bandages, their brand of bandages too, and super skim, and even like paracord, a nice whistle down here. All the stuff you need when you go hiking, compressed into one little kit, just grab and go. Really great stuff. Definitely worth checking these guys out, by the way. Hit their website. Even if you have an HSA plan, I noticed you can buy stuff. So if you need some nice first aid kits at home or stuff for the car, some preparedness stuff, really good stuff. A lot of it's made in the USA, I believe, as well. So I'm a fan. So that's the My Medic Hiker Medic Pack, really high value thing for the basic box. So super cool. Moving on, we have the 6-inch Uberleben Hexa fire starter. I think it's just a big old ferro rod, and I'm not mad about that. Oh yeah, this thing's got some heft. Look at this. All right, I'm excited about this. Man, I probably can't play with it on camera either because it'll light my house on fire. I should start doing some of these unboxings outside. So what we have is a big bad to the bone ferro rod. So if you're new to fire starting, which if you're watching this unboxing or this channel, you're probably not, but if you're looking for different fire starting methods, ferro rods are great. They typically come in these small manufacturer, or like this is the stuff you'd buy at Walmart or like at Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy Sports. It's like has a little plastic grip, has a little short rod, and has a small striker. This is like Big Daddy version of that. We take our giant striker here, which has some stuff built in. It almost looks like it has a little hexa wrench thing built into, some measurement tools. I mean, you're probably not going to use this as a backwoods multi-tool, but if you need to in a pinch, it's kind of cool they have that. But you get your serrated edge and just kind of press gently and drag this thing down. And once you get that little top layer of paint or sealant or whatever they have there off, this thing should just rain down sparks. So if you're only used to little ones, which really you're getting like a little this thing, if you're trying to start a fire, you can just shower stuff on there, and this should last a super long time too. I actually really like this little leather strap they put on this too. So Uberleben makes really cool stuff. I've had a pot from them before, which is really nice. It's really cool. It's got kind of like the modern cigar style packaging too. So I'm gonna throw this immediately in my firebox, and I'll be playing with this weekend around the fire pits. That's exciting. That was our basic box right there. We have Axe Wax. We've got this Hiker Medic backpacking kit. And then we've got this crazy fire starter rod. By the way, that's worth $32. So really high value basic box this month, which is cool to see. All right, next up, if you get the advanced box, you get everything below in the basic box plus this. We have also from Uberleben a stainless Stoker flat pack stove and wax canvas sleeve. So these are super cool. I have a product similar to this in my truck, but I don't have this version. So check this thing out. Similar packaging here. It's got this really cool old school macho style wax canvas going on here, which just feels so great. Kind of a water resistant stuff. Just wants you to be out in the woods with this thing. So look at this. You get this giant stove here, which you can just feed sticks to, put pots and stuff on top. But it's packed down to this thing that is so flat. The reason why I like this is another thing I actually have in my truck right now. And the small storage area in the back, I mean, you can't fit a whole lot of stuff in there, but I threw something like this in because it's so skinny. I mean, look at that. It takes up no space, really only weighs, what, like maybe a pound and a half. But you have a really high quality stove built into this that just needs a little bit of assembly. So let's see, we've got some, I guess this is like a protective film or something you can peel off or put off. But the way these work, you just kind of slot them together and build the stove. Let's see if we can put this together here real quick through the magic of editing. All right, so I kind of fast forwarded there so you can see this slotted together. I left the protective film on just because I want to keep it nice when it's stowed and everything before I use it for the first time, but kind of pops together like this. You get this pot support at the top that you kind of build into the top as well that kind of slots together and holds your pots up. But as you have this down, you start your fire, you start just feeding sticks into this, and you have a really nice kind of either a backpacking or backcountry or just goofing off around the campsite stove. So you can make a little fire with it, you can put pots on top and cook some meals. But you notice it's got these holes built into the bottom where since it's sitting up off the ground just enough, it can keep pulling in that air and feeding that fire, let it burn really well. Same thing for down here. But like I said, you got these pot supports at the top, really easy to kind of slot in there too. But very cool product. This is the kind of thing I love because it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So you can throw it in your kit, throw it in your truck, throw it in like a tote or something and forget about it unless you need it. It's not something where you're like having to manage your space or your inventory to make sure that you have room for everything else you want to take outside with you. So super cool product. Uberleben makes really cool stuff. They're the people that made this fire rod too. So that is the stainless Stoker flat pack stove with this wax canvas sleeve. They also make a titanium version I've seen before. But this thing's already pretty light, so I can't imagine that'd be a whole lot lighter. But we'll pop this up to the side. Very cool item there for the advanced box this month. Moving on to the Pro Box, something I'm not too familiar with from MTN, or I guess Mountain, the bonded Scatchet. Now I think I've seen some YouTube things with this thing where it's like a makeshift hatchet thing that you can just slot onto sticks. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. So let's check it out. Oh yeah, this is nice. Got a nice leather sheath that goes along with it. It's even got a little tool with it, I guess, to tighten some stuff up when you make that makeshift axe. Look at this rad little blade. So I believe from what I have seen of these, it's very multifunction. So we've got kind of sharp out of the box too. Kind of, I think you call them like a ulu blade. I've seen these up in Alaska where you can use that to chop stuff. You've got a hook there for skinning. You've got kind of a pommel here in the bottom, I guess. Although it always makes me sweat when a blade's that close to my hand because you know your hands get sweaty. If we're doing some tent stakes or just some bushcrafty stuff with that, just make sure you got some gloves on and you don't accidentally cut yourself. But this is where these get really interesting is you find a piece of wood or a good hardy stick outside, you thread it into this or kind of shave it down a little bit with your knife and put it in this thing. I believe it has some screws down here, I don't know, somewhere in the box where you can tighten that down just enough, and then you have this makeshift awesome little backcountry hatchet. So you wouldn't think, you're probably looking at this and thinking, I don't know if that would be all that sturdy, but this thing is heavy, it's rock solid, and really cool. This is the kind of thing that is just super fun to goof off with. It's super fun to take with you. It takes up no space, as you can see. You could throw it in your kit. This seems to be kind of the theme this month. Some smaller scale stuff you could throw in, but then turns into bigger stuff. Grab some sticks out in the woods and just go to town, doing some bushcrafty stuff around the campfire and just having some fun. So really interesting item from Mountain Bonded, the Skatchet. Let's see if there's anything we need to know on the card here. I didn't look it over all that much. This thing's worth 80 bucks, by the way. Super cool. So yeah, the card here says actually kind of hard to find. They put them back into production. A Skinner, hatchet, hammer, and ripper. A gut hook. Oh cool, I was right, it is an ulu. All right, so this is made from 65 MN carbon steel, has a genuine leather sheath. So very cool, very interesting item so far in the box this month. This is a cool one. So let's pop this back in here. That is gonna be fun to goof off with back in the woods outside. Super rad. So that is the Skatchet. And last up, it looks like we have a really cool blade. I've seen this brand, I've been wanting to check one of these out. So this is the Holtzman's Guerrilla Survival Bloodline Knife. Looks like we have an awesome kind of bushcrafty outdoor knife. And look at the box this thing comes in. It's not just thrown in a box with a little sticker on it. This is like full presentation awesome. So I'm gonna pop the seals on this. All right, so let's open this up. Cool Gorilla logo. Oh yeah, look at this thing. So we've got $20 off at Holtzman's, a little thank you card. Looks like we have a nice Kydex sheath. Oh man, which has some awesome belt connectors and strap connectors and stuff built into it. I always forget what that mechanism is called. Check out this knife. Man, this thing is just the right size. Sometimes you get like these giant knives to mess with outside, which are great and definitely have their purpose. But man, when I'm sitting around the fire, this is the kind of thing I want to be goofing off with. So we have 1095 high carbon steel, awesome for throwing sparks, which is probably one reason we got that ferro rod down there. It's a little greasy from the treatment they put on the knife before they put it in the box. But check out this rad blade here. Look at this thing. Wish I had something to wipe it down. I don't want to get that canvas sack all gross, but just feels super nice. You have some really cool orange pinstriping on the handles. I'm guessing this is a nice G10. Jimping is in just the right place. About a 4-inch blade, big Scandi cut on it too. Really, really cool knife. It's super greasy right now. So I'm gonna have to wipe it down really good before I start chopping some wood and stuff around the fire pit. Big lanyard hole down here, but it just feels nice, super well balanced and everything too. Really dig that. I love the blacked out blade. And 1095 is fairly easy to sharpen too, which I think is just what you want outside. Sometimes having the fancier steels and everything is cool, but sharpening those things can be kind of a butthole. So let's see what there is to learn here. 8.27 inches long. Yep, black G10 on the handles, has a Kydex sheath. Just really, really fun. And I think this is kind of a smaller company too, which I dig. They're just getting started with this stuff. Man, they make some awesome knives. So we've got a little leather loop around our sheath here, holding the knife blade in. Let's pop that in and get a look here. Oh yeah, fits super nice. You got a little clasp there to keep it closed. This little latch here just gives you a gajillion different ways to connect it to stuff. So That's awesome. This is actually probably one of my favorite knives of the month I've seen in a while. And to be honest, just looking back at this box right now, this may be the best battle box I've had so far this year. I just really, everything in it seems perfectly tuned. This is all the kind of stuff you want to get in a subscription like this. Actual practical stuff that you can use immediately. It's nice to get the prepping and other kinds of gear too, but I really dig being able to immediately throw this stuff into kits or immediately go outside and use it. Awesome first aid kit. The axe wax is super cool. I love the fire starter, love the stove. Really fun new kind of blade thing here to mess with, the Scatchet, and just an awesome general outdoors knife. So all around killer box this month. If you want to get one of these for yourself, be sure to check out the link on the screen or down the description and save yourself some money. Battlbox is always super interesting. That is it for this unboxing. As always, if you dug the video, be sure to hit that like button and help out the channel, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. We'll see you next time.